Hello and welcome to a very unique video that I normally wouldn't put on my main account, so I'm gonna put it on my second channel. Hello, welcome to my second channel. And let me just make very clear as to what my goals are and how I'm going to be approaching a tier list. So we'll start with the cons of a tier list. One of the issues with tier lists is that typically people that follow them tend to be people who are not going to be able to see the vision out, or bear the vision out. What I mean by this is like a tier list won't be as useful for a platinum player as it would be a challenger player, because a challenger player typically has the standard level of mechanics and knowledge of the game to maybe understand why certain things are high elo, or sorry, high tier, and also execute on that kind of vision, right? So for example, if I tell you certain champion is S tier and you're like a complete new player to the game, it probably helps you, or rather it could help you to play strong character, but it could hurt you if that strong character requires a bare minimum level of expertise to actually make use of it, right? So for example, if I give you a gun but you can't even pull the trigger, right, it's basically useless if you just don't have the, I don't know, strength to do so somehow. So keep that in mind. I think tier lists should generally be for fun, and I'm going to try and see the nuance through and explain it. So one of the goals of this video, and you can skip ahead if you don't give a shit, right? That's totally fine. But if you want to learn how to think, I'd like to think that I can teach you here. One of the things that we have to keep in mind, one of the goals, is that we need to establish common definition or a common ground when we're describing things. So for example, if I'm talking to you about something like power or ease of access or ease of use, you need to know what I mean by that. And maybe you don't agree with my definition, but as long as we understand each other, as long as you understand what I mean when I say something, then okay, if I use a word you don't get, then we literally, that's the equivalent here where if we're thinking broadly, like I'll maybe introduce an idea to someone. If you don't understand what that is, then you're just not going to realize why I'm going to put something in S tier or A tier or whatever, right? Like that's one of the pitfalls of tier lists. You don't always get the nuance, right? So I'm going to try to do it properly. Let's go in. I'm going to grade every single augment for the most part off of a couple of categories. One of them is just raw power. So I'm talking like numbers. There's a difference between an augment giving you 70 AP versus an augment giving you 50 AP. Very clearly, you can see that the 70 AP is above the 50 AP, but that has no bearing on where it actually is. It has bearing on where it is relative to other things, but not necessarily where it should be. So for example, like 70 AP, wishful thinking could be like B tier, which, off of what we just established, means that the 50 AP cannot be B tier or above for the most part. It could still be B tier because it's relative to everything, but relative to each other, generally speaking, one thing will just strictly be above the other. Now there is a problem of tiers of like the augments, so we should probably do 3 separate tier lists for like the prismatics and then the golds and then the silvers. But it depends. So I think that would be the better thing, to compare them to within the tiers and stuff. But I think it's cooler to try to get everything all at once. But it's hard, it's hard to keep the whole web going. So let's see if we could do that. I know it's a pretty long intro, but I think it's important to be respectful to the topic. Most people just give you some bullshit slop. I'm actually going to try to like do a tier list properly, or what I view to be proper. Okay, let's get started. I guess we just go top down. 404 Augment Not Found. This is gained by by doing the symbiotic or parasitic mutation. Wait, no, I didn't fully finish it. Sorry. Power. I explained power. Ease of use. So or compatibility. We'll call it compatibility. So what this means is, like, for example, wishful thinking, which is 70 AP. The augment that gives 70 AP. Can only be taken by people who are allowed to. So for example, if you're Talon, because you have 0 AP ratios, you technically cannot take it. So I'm going to be grading augments based off of the whole pool of people that can it can be used by. So ease of access, as in like how often can you pick it. So probably a really good example is just the AP thing. Generally speaking, out of all the people that have AP ratios that want to take it, I think like ballpark 70-80% of them will actually be able to use it. So a champion that has an AP ratio that can't really use it would be like Illaoi. Illaoi has an AP ratio technically, or Vayne has an AP ratio technically, but you wouldn't want to take it. I don't even think they can get it. So assuming that the only characters are going to be like mages or maybe some tanks, wishful thinking, you can see it's actually very good because anytime it shows up, by definition of it showing up, you are probably playing a champion that can use it. A negative example would be maybe Earthwake, so or dashing. Any of the mobility augments, Outlaw's Grit, dashing, Earthwake, Now You See Me, Shadowrunner. Sometimes you're playing a champion that the dash augment doesn't make sense on. Lawi is actually a good example. She, for some reason, can get dashing, but it doesn't count for her W. That's an example of it being straight bugged. A really good example would be, I don't know, like Rakan. Rakan's W, E, they both benefit. Their Fizz is crazy because Q and E dashing is amazing. So you can see how dashing is really good for some characters, but not always as crazy on other characters. Dashing might not be good on, I don't know, Zed or Talon. Okay, so hopefully now you understand what I mean by like ease of access or compatibility. It's this general idea of like, I'm going to give you one thing, and across all possible characters that can get it, on average, how useful is it? So on average, I imagine wishful thinking, very fucking useful for pretty much anyone that can get it. But the dashing augments, the mobility augments, it's So that's another dimension that we're judging it by, and then power, and then maybe third, the final category is like game changing. The mechanic. We'll just call it the mechanic. Like, I'll give you an example of a really strong mechanic. Castle, for example, it makes it so that your character. So the difference between like, I don't know, playing a character and increasing a stat, like getting attack speed, is like you already do attack speed stuff. Let's say on Jinx or on Twitch. But you cannot do any sort of teleporting shit on Jinx or Twitch. You can flash, that's about it, but you don't have access to any sort of like instant movement dodge. So that's why something like Castle, the compatibility, everyone can use it, pretty much everyone. The power, everyone can use it, and the mechanic, it introduces a new mechanic or a game-changing mechanic, which makes it super highly graded. And the reason why is pretty simple. Anytime you're in danger, you now have that option to just hit the button and swap. It could troll. It could definitely troll, which brings me to my next point. But let me complete this. It could troll you, but it can also be entirely game-changing, if not like fucking best in slot in a lot of situations, right? Best in slot is hard to demonstrate, but you get what I mean. So if it changes your gameplay entirely in a way that is actually positive and better than alternative options, right? Obviously, we're not going to grade things assuming that you're going to get the other two craziest options. Like, no way I'm going to present you, for example, if you get a prismatic augment, Fan Hammer, dual wield, and Scopious weapons. Like, that's just like almost an impossible choice on a lot of characters, right? Let's just assume in general, just by itself, if you want to pick it, it's good, right? If it's like the only thing available, yes or no. So the last one will be, let's say, how easy it is to use. So that's an interesting one because, and I'm sorry that this intro takes so long, but I have to do this. I seriously do. Let's say the average skill level from Iron to like Challenger, let's go look like this, I guess, or like this. Can an Iron player use it? It's like not the best litmus test, but it's like, let's just assume you're a conscious fucking human being and you know how to hit the button, generally when to hit the button as well, or how well you can use it. That's a hard one to gauge, but I'm going to be thinking about that peripherally, okay? So let's get into it finally, hey? 4/4 Augment Not Found, Symbiotic Mutation, and Parasitic Mutation are the only ways to get it. And I will just say now, I'm going to assume you know what every single one of these augments do, okay? I'm not going to fucking show them on screen. There's just no way I'm doing that. It's the one that just gives you 3 hats. Basically useless. The reason why is because the power, you only get power off the contingency, right? Like, which is that you get Hat Trick or you get 4 or 5. So automatically, this is terrible. It is way too contingent on synergies. I guess that's another dimension, right? Like how much do you have to synergize with it or play into it? Adapt. So automatically, I'm just gonna say like adapt is clearly not bad, clearly not like slightly shitty, and not middle of the pack either. Adapt for any character that wants. I think it can only show up for people that can use AP. The stat that you convert to has to be something that you can reasonably use. And I think generally speaking, I'm thinking like Jin and maybe some AD characters. They don't want it. Like I think it's like pretty much split down the middle as to who would want this. Like if you're an AP character, you want the shit immediately. You want like man immune on it, maybe even Gunblade. Gunblade's a bit of a bait. Even like hybrid attack characters, you could do like Gwynsu, and even that's okay. But just because it's like a straight up 15% extra AP or something like that, just because of that alone, it's a lot of power. I'm gonna leave it right here until I see a little bit more, and then maybe maybe I'll think about it and be like, okay. So it's either A or B for me right now. Automatically, just like the flat stat alone, very good. But the fact that not everyone can use it perfectly, and some of the items are bait, I'm just gonna say no. But AP in particular is very fucking nice compared to AD, simply because you have access to Rabadons and Demonic Embrace. Demon King's Dragonheart don't discriminate, of course, but yeah, those two items alone are fucking great. I'm not certain about how it works with EscAPADe turning AP, doing the percentage with the Rabadons before AD convert. I'm not so certain. So there's a knowledge gap on my head. Accelerating Sorcery, definitely an A. No matter what character you play, for the most part, you will be able to benefit from haste. The strongest stats in this in Arena are literally just movement speed and haste, and then peripherally like whatever stat your character uses, and then attack speed is actually very high in stonks. Omnivamp is good. Movement speed we can demonstrate easily. The ability to move past something or move into range or move out of range of something, so strong. I always prioritize movement speed. Compared to the base game, getting 500 movement speed means that like sometimes, as long as your cursor is near your character, you can literally dodge anything if you're just not a fucking brain dead player, right? So move speed is really good, and then haste is really fucking good as well on top of that, simply because it changes the fundamental relationship between your character and theirs. If you can shoot two things before they hit one, you're just gonna win in a lot of cases, right? So overwhelming with haste, very, very powerful, pretty much regardless of character. Even ADCs, even the class that like arguably doesn't use as many spells, the fact that you can do this, and it can also change your gameplay, right? Like Jinx, for example, maybe even Vayne 400 haste condemning, right? Like I'm gonna put this in A automatically. It's important to note that the rate at which you stack is really important. So if you think accelerating sorcery means that you can sit on 0 haste, no, that's stupid. 0 haste is really bad with accelerating. You actually want like 100, 120 haste with accelerating, because the more haste you get, the faster you accelerate the rate at which you stack it. So people think, oh, I got accelerating sorcery, I won't buy Ionian boots. Actually, you want to buy Ionian boots, even though you have accelerating sorcery, because you can stack even faster now. Just plot that out, just do the math. Okay. All for you. This is a win more augment. I genuinely think it's so fucking shit. In a case where you have to demonstrate that you actually needed that 30 to 40% extra healing and shielding, and in order to demonstrate that, you would have to show that your opponent hit you in a way where you were able to deny a one-shot or deny a death in a case where you could reasonably do nothing else, as in like you had no other option other than to heal or shield your teammate, and they couldn't have just played better. Play better is not the best argument, but my point is like, win more shit like this, it doesn't change your gameplay. It doesn't mean that you can like go a little bit more aggressive, because doing the math on hand is just not something a human being can do for the most part, right? There's like I'll never call like I'm going to go forward because you have all for you. In a case where they're going to burst me such that all for you is going to be useful, I would probably not bank on all for you saving me, because I would rather just play safer into someone who could burst me. And if someone couldn't burst me, then what's the point in going all for you to recover that HP? You're probably just going to do it anyway. Does it make sense? So there's like just no, there's like a tiny spot where it actually make a difference compared to some of the others. Okay, Apex Inventor is disgustingly S tier. The reason why is because basically everyone has certain synergies with it. whether you're tanks with unending despair or like locket redemption supports tanks peripherally in the same category. Mages have kind of bait options, but the existence of prismatic items alone, such as Gale Force, Everfrost, Pyromancer Cloak, Black Hole Gauntlet, the existence of prismatic items makes it so that Apex is genuinely a lot better than it actually is. And redemption alone is kind of disgusting regardless of who you are, because you could die and you could still have that 7 or 11 second thing. Literally just those items alone pushes to the max. It's also very fun, and it's also very easy to use because no matter who you are, it's a passive, right? I mean, yes, you technically have to hit the thing actively, but you can even use passive effects like ADCs with Yuntal wild arrows, and you just have like what, 7.5 second cooldown Yuntal, and you just basically have a permanent uptime. And you have like Gale Force, for example. Not that you're going to get Gale Force all the time, but it opens up that line to go for prismatics. And just Yuntal alone and Ghostcrawler alone with ADC to ditch, it changes your whole game. Completely changes the whole game. Very strong. Augment 4 or 5 because of how contingent it is on a lot of things, despite the fact that when you do play for it, it's really strong. It's like 1% of your 4 or 5 games, assuming you actually get it. Don't even like, I'm not even keep in mind like the likelihood of getting it. It's just when you get it, I'm gonna say like maybe like 10% of your games you're gonna fully see it through. As in, you're gonna get something like Hat Trick, you're gonna get something like 4 or 5. You can't get both. You're gonna get something like Juice Press, or even the money to buy. You need like gamblers, bro. Like, you cannot activate this that easily, and even if you could, you would generally benefit from buying items first. As in, Augment 4 or 5 typically will only get its value after you've gotten your 6 items, and then you buy hats on top of that. And the reason why you need to buy the 6 items is pretty simple, because for the amount of gold, so you get a 25% damage increase, right? Because 500 gold Kappa Juice times 5, 2,500 is for a legendary item. 25% damage increase is typically higher than what you're going to get as a raw stat compared to like some of your items. But those items might have effects that you need, or like additional stats other than just damage, right? So would you rather get like a bunch of core stats that you need, or would you get 25% damage? In most cases, if you're picking 25% damage, you're fucking trolling. So, probably like a B tier. I'm going to leave it there for now. Back to basics. Unironically, there are a lot of champions that really like this. TF, Pantheon, maybe Rise. But for most champions, because you can't access the healing and shielding power, just the 70 haste and the 35% ability damage alone does not warrant losing your ultimate. Because the ultimate, even though the ultimate probably isn't accounting for 35% of your damage, definitely not worth the 70 haste. Not worth not getting the 70 haste. Your ultimate might actually be integral to your combo or your champion's kit, and so the average champion, I imagine, won't be able to use this as effectively. Okay, it's more like a cheese build if you're playing like a healing build, like a volley bear or something, right? Like, okay, fuck my ultimate, I'm gonna just go heal more. So it's very strong for sure. It's like a between A and B. I wish there was like a between A and B. Let's just say like a high B. Okay, like an Asian fail. Okay, a B process. Okay, Banner of Command. This is just raw stats because of how it's kind of like a one pump thing. Even if you do like the last second Banner of Command, the one pump where like you get this burst, it's just like a win more thing. So I'm gonna put it C. Big brain, actually, for any character that actually wants to use it, and it only shows up on the AP characters, right? Genuinely very strong. It's a game warping sort of thing where initially when people could burst you, and you want to think of it this way, right? Where it's like, anyone with an execute ability is going to fucking hate getting through that shield. Anyone with a current HP ability is going to love getting through that shield. Let's just go with half and half. So we're not going to really look at those kind of matchup dependent things. We're just going to say in general, the fact that you can go big brain and easily access like 800, 900 AP reliably every game of Arena, pretty, unless you're just like not buying anvils at the end game or something, like, yeah, it's bad. I mean, Big Brain can demonstrably change how you play an AP character, because it's not like you're going and tanking them. It just means that you can reasonably get 1 or 2 extra rotations. So there's a difference between like getting 800 HP on like a tank versus getting 800 HP on like a mage. 800 HP is probably like a lower percentage of your max health on a tank than it is on a mage. It might even be like 50% of your HP bar at some point, right? Like if you get enough for a mage, which means that you're going to get that many more rotations out. So I'm gonna put this at like a good A. Like it's easy to play for because the champion that you're getting on again is most likely going to be an AP character. You're not getting this on Darius. You literally cannot roll on Darius, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Blade Waltz is automatically an A. So the reason why this might be confusing for a lot of people, I'm gonna just explain really quickly. Across all of the augments that give you a flee option or like replaces your flee, the reason why generally speaking they're going to be really fucking good is because think of it this way, right? When you take a single option like Blade Waltz, like Feel the Burn or whatever, you automatically cannot get the other options. Okay. If you are looking for the other options, then yeah, it sucks to take Blade Waltz when you want Orbital Strike in reality. But one sec. If I mute, I'm coughing. By taking any of the flee options, you automatically thin the pool for the next augment. So what this means is if you wanted to get something like a capstone, like a jeweled gauntlet, like a giant slayer or something, if you roll a prismatic augment, you have to choose between a huge pool of augments, right? Like 50 or so. And by taking Blade Waltz, you have now denied Blade Waltz, obviously. It doesn't count because you automatically take an augment out regardless. But you take out Feel the Burn, Summoner's Roulette, Ultimate Roulette, there's a bunch of things, Orbital Strike. You take out a couple augments, right? So what you've basically done is you've made it more likely for you to get something that you would actually want in the future, assuming it is not something that was a summoner spell replacer, right? So for example, if you want Clown College and you get offered Blade Waltz, yeah, that kind of sucks. You know, you probably don't want to take Blade Waltz, so you can keep Clown College open, right? But I hope you understand this. I don't want to linger too long on this, but a lot of the summoner spell replacers are very, very good simply because you can make it more likely for you to get any other fucking augment that you actually want. So like I take a prismatic Blade Waltz, right? Next augment is gold. I am automatically more likely to get vulnerability because now I can't roll Banner of Command or Vanish or Oathsworn or any of that garbage, right? Like you are automatically more likely. So it's very, very powerful for that exact reason to just take this shit. And the Blade Waltz by itself, the reason why it's so good is because even on a mage, it's an iframe. It's an ability to just instantly teleport off the map. Basically, yeah, you know, you're thinking, oh, you're doing damage. I don't give a shit about the damage. What I give a shit about is the fact that I go intangible. I still get hit by dots. Sorry, my headset died. Not that I need it, but whatever. I'll need it soon. It's the fact that you just can't get hit. It's a little bit shitty because you spawn next to them, but it can be used as a brief iframe. Let's say a Zed ults you, right? He ults me, I'm spamming the button. It is so easy to use. You don't have to aim for the most part. Okay, I hit the button, I immediately go into my Blade Waltz, and then I leave. Or maybe before the Blade Waltz, I watch for a Shuriken animation, and then I Blade Waltz. Or Fizz ults me, right? And he doesn't E to deny it, and I don't have a gate nearby. Okay, I just go Blade Waltz then. And then, you know, what can he do? So regardless of who you use, ADC, tank, fighter, no matter what, even a fucking support, very good, right? Not to mention the on-hit strategies and stuff. So the iframe alone, very good. Blood Brother, the only person that can roll it is Draven, and when you are Draven, you roll it S tier, obviously. S tier. It is probably one of the strongest things you can play. Assuming it's not bugged. I mean, when it's bugged, it's like an A tier, but if you could reliably get it, S tier. It is one of the highest stat increases you could possibly get ever. Fucking ever. Okay. Blunt Force, it's just gonna be a C. It's 20% AD, and when you're in AD and you want it, yeah, it's good. But it doesn't change any of the gameplay. It doesn't make it more likely for you to like get onto someone, for example, like a dash. I'm gonna leave it at C. One sec. Yeah, it's not fucking terrible. It's definitely clickable. If you click it every single time it shows up, you're gonna do pretty okay. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be fucking terrible like an all for you. Okay, bread and butter, all the breads and shit, they're just like way too contingent. We could really stretch and say something like bread and cheese is better. The E cooldown, because typically the E is going to be like your utility spell. But we could even say like, well, your Q button, your bread and butter, it's typically going to be your main damaging spell. But there's an argument of like, well, your main damaging spell is probably going to be low cooldown, like a Karthus Q or REQ or Gangplank Q. It's like, yeah, but you can benefit from getting it even lower. You actually can. Going from 1 second to 0.33 seconds is actually a huge difference. Even though, and I can demonstrate this, so it's a difference of 0.67, right? 0.67 seconds. Let's say you go from 7 seconds down to 6.33. That actually doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's the percentage, right? It's the percentage of like the change. Obviously, it's not the same number, right? Like 200 haste is not going to bring you from 7 to 6.33 and 1 to 0.33. The point is, at lower cooldowns, it actually, like Cassiopeia, for example, right? Like it actually does make a very fucking big difference to get your ability that low. Especially with how many synergies there are out there. I'm not gonna say it's good because innervating locket, right? But just take my word for it, okay? Some of these things I'm gonna source, trust me, bro. Because this is gonna be like a 2-hour video. Let's just say bread and everything is just a flat B. Like you can, not everyone will be able to use them. When you can use them, it's nice. Let's go with a 50-50. Don't think about it. And my axe was like nerfed. This one's kind of decent. The problem is it's contingent on you picking it up. And so typically you're only going to take it on characters that you can go and pick it up on. And even when you can pick it up, it's not even that strong. So it's kind of like, oh, it's honestly like a fucking C tier. Kind of shit. The shred is just like, oh, dude, it's not reliable. Like genuinely shit. Buff Buddies is actually kind of underrated. So one sec. And the reason why is because it's got the connection points to burns, which is really nice. But just the mana regen alone, also like energy regen for any of the characters that you use, it's a dud. Like mana is a dud on most characters, but at the very least having red buff and the red buff connection points, like I don't know, True Shot, or just like generally having DPS and like a slow on auto, right? The I'm just going to put it B simply because it's got way too many connection points, even like ice cold and shit, right? I would actually just take this over a lot of things. Okay, just source trust me. It's like either B or C. Can't touch this. Okay, this augment. So the ultimate ability augments, you would think like it's only good on characters that have like a lower cooldown ultimate, maybe like a Nidalee, Karma, maybe even like Jinx, like some of the ADCs have low ultimates, or maybe when you can get your ultimate back quickly. But the thing is, because it's an iframe, it's actually very fucking good. The problem is you have to use your ultimate. So now we found our first case of power discrepancy, where it's like Blade Waltz is an iframe. It's not as on demand as your ultimate, but it's not as contingent as having to use your ultimate. So it's two different activation sequences. Blade Waltz requires you to be nearby someone. Can't touch just means that you can use it whenever. So let's say you're getting Karthus ulted, you don't have a gate, you can just use it whenever. But now you're wasting your ultimate. So for this exact reason, even though Blade Waltz has like a condition as well, Can't Touch This is good, but it's not quite as good as Blade Waltz. Because there's a chance that you throw it away. In a case where you use your ultimate effectively and you block damage with it, oh fuck yeah, dude, S tier. But I would say on average, for most of the cast, it's gonna be a fucking B tier, because you're divided between using your ultimate for its actual use and using your ultimate to block. If you're a fucking great player, you do both, right? But I think that's actually, like, even if you're a good player, there are cases where you can't get double efficiency. You can get forced actually to not. Ken Fodder D. I'm sorry. So remember my criteria, right? Before anyone goes, but there are cases where cannon fodder is good. Yes, there are cases where cannon fodder is good, but there are also so many cases where it's not fucking good at all. Okay, so don't do that thinking. I already established that, so don't fuck with me. Okay, Castle S tier. It replaces your flea. It changes your game. It gives you shield, the movement speed, everything, and it can. If you're good at using Castle, holy fuck, it's so good. Especially the fact that you can buffer out of it if you need to. Holy fuck. Too good. Celestial Body, genuinely A. The reason why is lobby tempo. One sec. Lobby tempo is so important. If you can take an augment that might not benefit you later, but makes it so that you don't lose like the next 3-4 rounds, like getting Celestial Body, Guardian's Horn round 1 is genuinely game winning. Like, it's just because you get so much tempo from winning those early rounds. You can basically greed really hard, or you can make it so your teammate greeds. Like, Celestial Body actually changes the game. As stupid as it sounds, it's a super good win more augment on a tank in a way that doesn't require you to do anything stupid. You're just tanking more. Okay, you're literally just tanking more. You can basically stall people out in the early rounds if you need to as a tank as well. So Celestial Body, 100% an A. It's boring, but it's really powerful. Center of Universe, this one, unfortunately, because it doesn't really apply spell effects and stuff, and without range, it's a little bit difficult to manage, and I don't think the average player can manage it. Like I'd like to think that I have really good fucking micro, and even then, it's so difficult because movement speed is so prevalent in this mode as well. Center of Universe it's cool. It's good on tanks. I think it's even better on ADCs and like mages, especially long range mages like a Hui or like an Annie, because you can use the AP ratio and you already want to build Magic Pen. It's very very good, especially when you micro. But even then, ease of access, overall power, rough. It's a rough call. Chain Lightning, holy shit! This thing's definitely an A or S. It's like between the two. The reason why is because 40% true damage, if you ever think about percentages of someone's health, so let's say you have a tank 5000 HP and like you have a squishy 2300 HP, like doing a percentage of the tank's HP and then taking a percentage of that 40% and throwing into true damage, you could actually nuke the teammate. It changes how the opponents want to play, because the effective range of your abilities is just way higher when they're near each other, especially if you use AoE, and especially if you have percent, and especially if you have AoE percent. You know what I mean? So Chain Lightning by default, unfortunately everyone can get it, even if you're a support. But even then, Redemption or just peripherally doing anything, any fucking damage whatsoever, it can help with early lobby tempo. But it's like an AS. It's just because it's so strong when you can play towards it that it covers for the cases where you can't really use it. I'm definitely gonna put it A by default. If I wanted to be super accurate, I'll probably put it between like A and B. But like my initial feeling is like between S and A, just because it's like, holy fuck, yeah, so nice. Chauffeur, oh fuck, unfortunately this is a C. I think unless you have a really good driver, you're basically griefing your entire game. In terms of the stats that you get and the playstyles and unlocks and how fun it is, oh fuck yeah, dude. Fuck, I love this shit, dude. I love when, if I'm ever playing a movement speed character, I'm telling my partner to always pick Chauffeur. My guarantee to my Chauffeur partner is I'm going to drive them well, I'm going to dodge for them, right? And I'm going to think about their range too. My mental stack is huge like that, right? But for the average player, I don't think they really fully bear this out, right? Like it's just too hard. So that, I think that's a huge influence on my decision here. Circle of Death is a gigabait. I'm putting a D here. It's like such a fucking bait augment. Unless you find the singular win con of like being Zac passive or Mundo with or like Warmogs, like maybe Vladimir. Like dude, for the amount of characters that can roll it and how often it's not actually useful, I'm putting it at D tier. Okay, Clothesline, I genuinely think is a good C. It's just generally good. It's generally like it's funny because when your teammate dies, it makes it easier to use it. I actually think it's pretty good, simply because it's got an AD and AP ratio now, and I think HP ratio as well. They changed it. It can really help, especially if you don't get baited into trying to play for it. If you get baited into playing for it all the time, you can fuck up your positioning, but it's still pretty good. It's not like worthless tier, okay? But like some conditions, right? I do want to put it as just because I'm me, right? I love doing that shit. College, fucking great. This thing, it's an instant dash, for the most part. It's invis, it's damage on death. You don't even care about the damage you get from backstab. It's just the fact that you can teleport and go invis, and you can get value. So you can essentially secure 250 gold pretty much no matter what you do, as long as you die on top of your opponent and you weren't useless and you like hit them. Clown College, just for that alone, is good. On top of like the extra stats from just like the passive and shit. Like it's just too fucking good. Actually, one of the best in the game. Combo Master, unironically, is just a C tier. It's Summoner's Rift gameplay in a game that requires you to have like permanent stats. Like getting temporary phase rush, it's like unless you no, it's not good enough. It might even be D tier, but because it's a keystone and keystones typically have decent stats, right? I'm, for example, Blunt Force, right? Just stats, like just stats. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here in C tier. This, C for stats. Contract Killer, very good. A. You can't always kill someone, but typically speaking, when you're playing Arena and you're not, you know, you're not like a fresh player, like you're not new to Arena, you recognize that some rounds you can't win, but you can at least kill someone. And so typically, as long as you go for your mark, you're going to be able to increase your tempo. You can get a prismatic on 5 instead of 6 if you do this, or you could even play for like what's it called, stats, or like an extra juice here and there. Contract Killer is just generally good. Curse of Colossus, it's actually okay. So I reminds me of when I argued about Courage of the Colossus and Jarvan. Some CCs make sense to take Courage of the Colossus. For example, a taunt. A taunt is the best example. A taunt forces your opponent to hit you. So no matter what, when you taunt someone, you will use that shield. But in other cases, with a long knockup, this is why I fucking hated noobs playing Courage on Jarvan. Jarvan's knockup is actually one of the longer knockups in the game, which means that you're going to knock him up and not use the shield, right? You're not going to use like 0.75 of that shield duration. So unless you use the full shield, it's almost like you didn't have that. Okay, so I'll give you an example. If you have a 5,000 HP shield, it's no different functionally than a 10,000 HP shield, because so long as the duration is short enough, like 2-3 seconds, a 10,000 HP shield will only get usage over the 5k HP shield if they hit anything above 5,000, right? So following that logic, you can see how a lot of the times a big shield is actually very wasted. It doesn't make it's just a win more, right? It doesn't actually change your gameplay. If you have a taunt, if you're Shen, yeah, dude, Courage of Claws is great. Like, you not only taunt them, but you take no damage. Great, dude. If you have like a tiny root or like a tiny stun, where like you stun them and then they come out of it and they hit you, then yes, you can use the full duration of the Courage of Colossus for the most part. But because it's not actually good on a lot of characters, like, people get baited into thinking, oh, CC equals shield? Oh, it must be good. No, don't actually think like that. That means you're an idiot, okay? It really does mean you're an idiot. You have to think more deeply than just, I have a stun, I must take it. Like, it's just, holy shit. Just, you can see I'm actually fucking getting tilted thinking about, like, fucking 7 years ago I'd argue with people taking Courage of Colossus on like so many champions. It just doesn't fucking make sense on. It's like, you're so stupid. Like, especially because it's Arena and you only have 2 people. If you hit someone and their partner hits you, of course they're using the shield, right? But in Summoner's Rift, if you engage, if you're the main engage, 5 people are hitting you, you're almost guaranteed to use that full shield. Like, in Arena, it's so different. So that's why I'm putting it at B. But to be fair, they could be hitting you harder too, right? So it's nuanced. It's nuanced, okay? So it can be anywhere, A, B, C, whatever. Critical healing. Any of the criticals by default are just going to be A, just because there's so many connection points for critical. Okay, it's better than all for you because it applies on yourself and it's not just on your teammate. The critical, right? And you can do a bunch of things like Rite of Ruin, that item alone, a Force of Entropy. You have so many things. Jewel Gauntlet, self healing from like random bullshit like Omnivamp or plants and stuff. I believe I've seen that shit like pop up. It shows the confetti, so you have a very clear indicator. All the curses are pretty much always going to be at A, simply because when you do hit that capstone, it's OP. Dark Blessing is honestly going to be like a B, because it's one of the harder things to activate, even for the ones that have teammate healing. You basically have to go Sword of Blossoming Dawn. Like, it's just so unfortunate, right? For a lot of characters. So Dark Blessing, it's only B and not C because it's ability haste, because it gives you one of the best stats in the game. Maybe even more than Adaptive Force if Doomsayer wasn't so fucking jacked up in numbers, okay? Like, I would rather take the ability haste than a lot of things. So Dashing, I'm going to put it at a B as well. Oh, dude, no, actually that's tough. It's between the two. Wow, that's actually so tough. It's just because you don't want to take it on a lot of characters. Yeah, it's a B. For the characters that you want it on, fucking amazing, but most of the time it's a dot augment. Dawnbringer's Resolve, it's just stats. Okay, Deathtouch, unironically, because you can auto attack on most characters, even like supports, it's very easy to stack, but it's not that easy to use. Yeah, it's also a B. It's easier to access, but it's a weaker passive. But Dark Blessing is like, it's a weaker access but a better stat. So they kind of, they're kind of like opposites here, right? Defensive maneuvers, generally good. Honestly, It's generally good. It's a really low cooldown actually. You're gonna make a lot of use out of it, and it's also a flea replacer. So I'm gonna put at B. It's slightly better than just stats. It's stats for both of you guys, and it wins you early rounds really easily. Deft is unironically like pretty good compared to and I'll explain why. It's better than the other stats. So attack speed is better than 80 by default across the entire board. Even keeping in mind that 80 can only be taken by 80 characters. And the reason why is because attack speed makes it so that you can hit plants more quickly and like blast cones and shit. And like you will always interface with plants and blast cones if you're a good player, right? Even if you're a mage, hitting a plant twice and having your opponent hit it once because you have more attack speed is instantly fucking like game winning for a lot of different situations, or can lead to a higher chance, right? That's the point. So like maybe they get to the plant first, but if you hit right after and you have a fast projectile or like a faster animation, yeah, you're actually gonna win. Especially if you get to it at the same time, 2 plant hits, they hit only once. Yeah, you're just like, you're not only up 1, they're down 1, right? So like Deft, very good. Attack speed, very good. That's why Swiftest Shard is so good on mages, because you get ability haste, which is, you know, a function of your abilities, or being able to hit more abilities, and then attack speed for plants. Dematerialize, this is honestly such a win more augment. It's like it's stats, but like I genuinely think it's kind of a bait. Like it's between C and D, but I'm gonna just put it at C. Demon's Dance, actually, just because of Rune Carver alone, I think it's pretty cool. If you get it on a later augment, you get like 300 HP from the grasp thing. They don't tell you that, but it backfills it. It's really nice. It's just gonna be at C. Desecrator, this is really tough because generally speaking, you can only get offered this if you have CC to begin with. If you have a curse already, it unlocks all the curses, including like Dark Blessing. So let's say you're a character that can't heal, you can actually get Dark Blessing. So if you get like Deathtouch, and then you're like Ezreal, and you get offered Desecrator, it's gonna feel like shit, right? But it is a curse, so I'm gonna put it in B tier here, because if you're getting it on a character that can't CC, it's probably because you got another curse. It is definitely because you got another curse before, or your teammate got a curse. That's another detail. Yeah, if your teammate got a curse, it unlocks all the curses for you as well, from what I noticed. So yeah, B tier. Die Another Day, actually very good. There's a better version, which is Be Right Back. But Die Another Day, it's a flea replacer, and it's good. It's just good. Okay, it's just good. If you don't need it, then yeah, I didn't do anything for you. But in cases where you do need it, because you're losing your HP first, you can equalize, and then you have like easy access. Die Another Day, plus it's a flea replacer. Very good. I would definitely put it around A or B. I'm leaning towards A. Dive Bomber, actually pretty fucking good. It's better than the stats because it can pretty much secure you the 250 gold. You can just like donkey at someone and then send your dude and then go dive bomb them. Anything that pretty much secures 250 gold every round, I'm gonna take. Divine Intervention, unfortunately, like it has its moments for sure, but it's so fucking hard to play into because it's after 15 seconds round start and 35 seconds cooldown. It's so fucking hard. Planning around it alone, even for me, very difficult. Lightning Rod is like the capstone. Even then, it's like, holy shit, so difficult to make use of. Obviously, when it's good, it's good. That's why it's not worthless here, okay? Don't Blink, pretty good. Its stats, it's actually very difficult to play into. Because it's so good when you actually like do play for it, it could be a B, but it is a very, very much bait in a lot of cases. It's just, you only see me ever click this when I'm winning, or playing that playstyle, right? Like you don't see the cases where I don't click it. You don't see a lot of my gameplay because I don't show you the losses and shit all the time. Okay, Don't Chase, very nice. Very, very nice by default. Pretty much no matter what character you use, it's going to get you value. You're going to have like a zone where you can apply shit, even if you're not a mage, right? Even if you're like a fucking tank or support, it's just so easy to use. You just walk. Doomsayer, amazing, right? One of the more amazing ones. It's a giga bait as your first augment on characters that can't use can't hit a lot, but because it's so powerful when you actually do play for it, those cases I think overtake the bad cases for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Especially because you can take it first augment and hope and unlock the curse line for next. If you get it on second or third, I assume you're only taking it because you have curses to begin with, right? But standalone, it's like honestly a B. That's just so Such a fucking nuts one. Dryer Sword. Yeah, this one's high key a fucking bait, dude. It's actually such a fucking bait. Range is like way too important. Okay, like I'm not even kidding. I would take it on like an AD caster, like a caster build, like a Jinx or a Jhin, and then just play caster. I would use it for the movement speed and like the extra attack speed for like cast time and extra AD for like my abilities. I wouldn't actually use it as an ADC in a lot of cases. I genuinely think it's so shit. Maybe outside of like Graves or something. Range is way too powerful of a stat. Dreadbringer is easily S tier. It's the easiest thing to activate. HP is ubiquitous. Like unless you're playing for a perplexity build or something, or intentionally lowering HP for some reason. I mean, yeah, Dreadbringer is just head and shoulders above. Dual wield, because attack speed is a crazy stat. Everyone can use it. Even mages can use this shit and like do Nashor's Tooth and stuff. Although Nashor's Tooth dual wield is fucking giga bait. It's got way too many good cases. Even fucking tanks. Even tanks are like Hullbreaker and Titanic. Even like a support with Puppeteer, Sword of Blossoming Dawn. Like, it unlocks a lot of playstyles that aren't like crazy, but the fact that it unlocks those playstyles to begin with, and it's just super good raw stats, yeah, like, it's so fucking good. Earthwake, holy shit, unbelievable. It might even just be bait tier, because like, there aren't that many characters that can secure that stun. That Earthwake. Unless you're like a Pike or something, or maybe like Kane, maybe like Warwick holding the Q. The stats are too low for Earthwake. It's seriously fucking terrible. Erosion, good. Very, very nice stats. Very good on DOT. But it's not like crazy. It honestly won't secure you a win. It feels like a win more a lot of the times. But it's just good overall. You can take it. It's fine. EscAPADe and Adapt. I'm willing to say they're in the same tier. I really am. There's too much to think about with those things. Ethereal Weapon, definitely A tier. Unfortunately, you can't always make use of them. Like Lichbane and Triforce, those kinds of things are not so good. But in the cases that you can activate a passive or like stack something earlier, maybe like a Tom Kench, it's actually very, very powerful. Even like Heartsteel activating from a distance can be useful. No, that's not good. Yeah, it's not good. It's not as good as you think. It's gonna be a B tier. It's highly conditional. The more I think about it, the more it's like, yeah. My initial impression is just because whenever I play Ethereal Weapon builds, it's because I have like a good build around it. But for the most characters, like, no, it's not actually good. All right, Eureka for any AP user, fucking automatically A tier. Like it's not only stats, it's like a crazy amount of a good stat. Okay, Executioner, good. Yeah, actually pretty good. It's either B or C. Like you can just take it. You can just click this thing. And it's totally fine. Like it's not worthless. I know C tier looks like it's a bad thing, but really it's just like don't click ever for the down here. And like, hey, you can click this, and then B is like generally you want these things as long as you can make use of them, right? Extendo-Arm. Oh fuck yeah, no, this one. The fact that it doesn't aim properly a lot of the times and it's hard to play for. That category of like playing for it, dude, it's not up to me. I can't aim it, right? Like I could stand still and have it try to shoot, but I can't aim it. It's a bait. Fallen Age is same shit as like the rest of these. It's just something you can click it. Fan the Hammer. Not everyone can use it, but the ones that do fucking love it, like Callista or like maybe Tristana, ADCs generally, because it's pretty much ADC locked. It's not going to be something like dual wield. I'm gonna just put it at B. It's pretty much ADC locked. So yeah, and unfortunately everyone can roll it. So, I mean, if you're like Blitzcrank, yeah, you want Fan the Hammer, but Feel the Burn. This might be controversial, but it is an A tier. It's easy access anti-heal. It's denying what's that called? It's because it's instant. You can use it while you're CC2, right? It's an instant anti-heal, instant exhaust, right? So lower their damage, lower burst. And it's a connection point to Pyromancer, and it's a flea replacer. Like if you're a sweaty, take Feel the Burn. Like just like if you have no better option, you don't want to use rolls, just take Feel the Burn. It's actually pretty good. Fey Magic, it's kind of the same idea as like Can't Touch This, right? Having to use your ultimate. The thing is, because it connects to clone. No, not the best argument. It's just B. The problem with Fey Magic is like a lot of ultimates are actually CC as well. right? I can't think of too many ultimates that aren't CC to begin with. that you would want to play through. Do you know what I mean? It's like a case of givens. Just source trust me, bro. I'm gonna use one of my passes. Fire Sale, holy fuck. Okay, listen. 99% of the time, it's garbage, right? But the reason why I'm rating it so highly is because, again, I'm using the same logic of like in the 1 or 2 cases out of 100 that you can use it, it's fucking amazing. And I'm going to try to make the case that it's not actually 1 or 2. You can actively play for it all the time. And you should be, if you're winning. Should be is a hard thing to prove, but I'll talk you through that. Basically, if you are a good player, and I'm glad people haven't pushed the level of Arena to this point, you should just be always random anviling. Like, always random anvil. Like, always is actually difficult. You should, like, 90% of the time, regardless of your class, unless you actually need one particular item to finish off, and it's not like it's mutually exclusive. It's not like you can't just, like, random anvil now and buy later. You should just be fucking random anviling all the time, pretty much. And so Fire Sale becomes so fucking valuable because you could potentially get one extra item, or maybe even cycle out bad RNG, like a bad prismatic or something even, and just go for like full build immediately. Like you sell your prismatic and your other shit, and then you just go straight like 5 random anvil items, and then boom, your tempo is high. So I would actually put it at 8. I'm not even kidding you. I haven't shown that because I don't actively play for Fire Sale. But my point is, even if you don't get Fire Sale, playing as if you're going to is not actually a bad thing. It's even a good thing because you're accelerating your econ. And if you do get Fire Sale, on the off chance you do, holy shit, you just got all your like, oh my god, you got paid off. I wish I could show this, man. I wish I could actively show you. I could just be wrong about this, but it's definitely not C or D. It's fucking great. All right, most of the time, yes, it's a dud, but if you get it on like Augment 5, like wow, dude, it changes the whole game for sure. Like I cycle out my bad RNG and I go again, like oh, love that, right? Get like 8,000 gold or something. Anyways, Firebrand, because it connects to a lot of things, I'll put a B over C. Right, the fire, and generally speaking, think of it as like a recovery mechanic, as in like if you have Infernal Conduit and your spells are down, you can just kind of auto attack and get it. Or even better, the fact that your teammate can burn them. The fact that you like it's the Firebrand is the team's augment now, not necessarily your augment. Like Eureka is your augment. Because it only really affects you. I mean, yeah, you can make an argument that affects teammates if you like shield them or something, but because Firebrand allows you to interface with your teammates' burns, like your teammate has Slow Cooker, your teammate has Infernal Conduit, you can keep that stack going for them, or start the stacks yourself. Very, very good. It brings it out of C tier for sure. It brings it into B tier. But unfortunately, not everyone can actually. Everyone can auto, but not everyone can like use it like to its max like an ADC can. Firefox, holy shit, this is like undeniably like an S or A tier. Because it's a silver augment, and it can recover bad options. Like let's say you have 2 bad options for silver and you get Firefox. It's like I've actually called it like a prismatic augment before. Firefox, the movement speed is actually the underrated part. The lock on damage, yes, so much damage, right? And the connection points with the lightning rod, and the fact that it counts for abilities. So for example, if you have Decapitator or Innervating Locket, it actually stacks up your Decapitator. Innervating Locket I have to check. But it counts as you using abilities, and it applies passives like Aurora passive or Hui passive. You know what I mean? Which is pretty fucking stupid, by the way. But the 50% movement speed every 7 seconds, movement speed, best stat in the game, just randomly bursting like that. You can get away from things. You can close in range if you need to. Like very good. First aid kit, stats, whatever. Flashbang, very good. A tier. A tier automatic. Anything that resets your flash every round, automatically good. Flash, basically. Like, think of how strong Flash is. Like, you can combo Flash offensively, you can use it defensively, you can use it to reposition, force people, maybe get a plant. Flashing for a plant is not even a bad play in a lot of cases. Like, so good. Flashy, Flashbang, pretty much same tier. If there's, like, a slightly higher A, then I would do that. I mean, I'm not going to make it respecting left to right, but, like, Flashy is definitely above Flashbang, 100%, right? I might even call it S tier, but, like, I just imagine between A and B, okay? Flashbang is between A and B. Yeah. Whatever. From beginning to end, definitely A tier. Because First Strike, gold is a resource that you can't always get easily, and it's actually the only augment that lets you farm gold through damage. Yeah, no, it's automatically A tier. It's not quite as crazy because sometimes you can't use it. If you're a support, if you're a tank, you're not always going to get that first strike. But even then, you can flash onto someone and get like a bit of a threshold. Because the way Arena operates is you're going through thresholds of 250 gold at a time. If you ever make 250 gold, you've essentially gotten an extra kill for that round. And you can, over the course of 3-4 rounds, get an extra kill, basically, right? From beginning to end. And you could go more. You could go more. Absolutely. You hit a huge nuke, 100 gold, 150 gold. So it's really good for the people that want to use it. And even for the people that don't want to use it as often, or can't use it as often, still pretty fucking good because you can make that 250 at some point. You compare that to some of the other things, it can actually push you to another item. It can actually push you way further ahead in plenty of cases, okay? So I would actually very, very confidently put it at an A. Frost Wraith, this is honestly, oh god, it's just too hard to track. And too, like, even though they buffed it, 6.25, 1.25 root, it's unfortunately not that good, all right? Frozen Foundation's S. It's a flea replacer, and it's an instant cast, interrupt, dash interrupt, cast interrupt, repositioner, right? If you want to block them so that they go somewhere else, you can throw a skill shot and push them into it. It's too fucking good. You can block off from plants. Like, there are too many uses to this thing, right? It connects with CC things like Force of Entropy, Cruelty. You can use it to activate things like True Shot Barrage or True Shot Prodigy. I'm sorry, it's just way too fucking good. If you're a good player, holy shit, this thing is broken. Okay, and it's again a flea replacer. Fruits of Your Labor, I actually would put this at like very high A. Like, okay, because for a silver, like, Jesus Christ, this thing, you can basically, okay, so there's a difference between hitting 3 plant hits and 4 plant hits. 3 plant hits means that you probably ate 1 whole plant yourself. 4 plant hits means that you, by definition, had to hit multiple plants. So Fruits of Your Labor essentially lets you hit multiple plants without having to hit multiple plants because it gives you the extra benefits, right? On, like, even that alone, very good. That's why I take Dirk on a lot of characters when I wouldn't make more sense to take like a different item. Even on like Cho'Gath, I take Dirk because I want to get my ultimate that much faster, and it changes my gameplay. Fruits of Your Labor changes your gameplay because you can actually get that fucking ultimate back so quickly. Even like a couple seconds difference can make a huge difference. But the fact that you send it to your teammate too, boom, automatically A, right? A or higher. Gambit Anvil, S tier. This thing, it's too strong. It stat anvil run, or even just tempo with legendary items, round 1, you just get a fucking item. Or if you're going for prismatic hunting, if your character needs to look for prismatics, maybe you're doing Runecarver Foam, maybe you're doing a tank build and you want to go for Black Hole and Warmogs. Gambit Anvil allows so many different play paths because it connects to all 3, and it's not mutually exclusive. You could also do stats later on for 650 after you finish getting all your legendary items. Like, it's just so strong. It cheats the game, essentially. You are automatically 2 or 3 rounds ahead of your opponent, provided you play towards it, right? Yeah, they might have a stat bonus like a dual wield or something, but you can crush them now, and by the time you see them again in 7 rounds, because if you play round 1, right, you're going to see them round 7 or so, right? Provided no one dies, or round 8, right? So, like, by the time you see them again, like, you're just always ahead on tempo, essentially. So it's good. Giant Slayer, very, very confident A. Movement speed, very good stat. Overall damage increase. The movement speed alone, very fucking nice. But the fact that, actually, this is funny, it's a metagame read. A lot of people like to play tanks, and a lot of people like to play Heartsteel on tanks and Goliath because of the stat bonus. Giant Slayer, very, very nice. Just by default, again, movement speed, so fucking powerful, especially if you're someone that needs it. Especially if you're someone that doesn't build movement speed, you would want more movement speed. Yeah. Goliath also, unfortunately, I think it's a fucking annoying augment, but like I can't deny that it's actually pretty powerful for those that actually want it, because adaptive force, percent adaptive force, and just generally HP, very nice. The added hitbox is unfortunate about Goliath, but it's pretty good. It's definitely below Giant Slayer. Like, it's a between A and B. Okay, Giant Slayer is certainly better than Goliath. Okay, like anyone that wants Goliath, you probably want Giant Slayer, right? Or you would probably benefit more, unless you're scaling off of things like, it's so hard to prove that like the percent damage increase is better than the flat stat, because sometimes the flat stat will actually be higher. For example, like Silas has 5 ratios, Q, W, E, ulti, and his passive. And it's like, yeah, you probably want the flat stat there because the ratios would equal a higher damage increase, and it's not conditional on like size or anything. But then the moon speed would allow you to get in range. It's tough. Let's just say they're like somewhat equal with Giant Slayer being edged. It's like a difference between a bishop and a knight, not a, which is exacerbated by like modern day chess, but just think like generally speaking. Okay, Gore Drink, good stats. Can't always use them. Guilty Pleasure, very conditional. I would even fucking say garbage sometimes. C. Hat Trick, actually pretty good. Even if you don't play towards hats, just the ability to get 3 hats, it's good tempo. You get your fucking you get your shield early. It's a very fat shield. You could realistically end up using all 3 of your hats early on round 1 or 2, and it's like, oh, it's unfortunate, but it does reduce the cost, and you can expend like a little bit of your money to just get an extra hat. Like, it's pretty fucking good. Heavy hitter, just stats. HP stacking is pretty easy to go for, but I think it's still a C, right? Holder still, Jesus, it's not quite bait tier. It's got its uses. That's why I'm gonna put a tentative C, C and D. It's on the verge of being garbage. Holy Fire is like super fucking nerfed, so unfortunately, even for the characters that can use it, like healing and shielding, like Nami for example, it's very fucking weak. Like it's only decent because you can keep refreshing burns, just like the same argument for Firebrand. Home Guard, holy shit, this thing is like between A and B. I would actually say, even on a tank, even on someone who's gonna get hit, there are pockets of times where you can actually like play to activate it and then go eat a plant or like disengage for a while and like dodge things. Again, play for plants or maybe like Warmogs and shit. So even on the classes that want to go in, Home Guard allows you to close that distance a lot faster and juke abilities out on entry. And it's definitely good on the classes that want to kite, right? Anytime you're an ADC or like especially a mage, when you can keep that much of a distance and CC, because mages tend to have more CC, right? And so they can block them from blocking their Home Guard and hit them. Like, holy shit, Home Guard's very good. Movement speed too good. Ice Cold, so conditional. Even though it's just a slow, like, oh fuck. I will still say it's like about a C. Yeah. It's like a tilt your opponent augment. Low key. Impassable. Yeah, just the C tier. You can click it. Same thing as like Courage Colossus, just like kinda eh. I like it for the glacial, if anything. Ah, fuck, dude. I really want to take this one down. Okay, Infernal Conduit, very nice. It's not one of the stronger A's, but because it has the refund cooldown mechanic, yeah, definitely very strong. And all the connection points again, it makes it pretty ubiquitous. Like every character, for the most part, has some way of making use of it. You can't always refresh your own thing. If you have one damaging spell, I don't know, like a Milio, yeah, you know, it might not be as good, but I think it's still, it's tough. I think it's still playable across the whole board. You're generally not a character that has one ability, and even if you do, as long as you have burns, because it has a unique property of like all your burns, not necessarily just like Firebrand or Holy Fire. It even counts things like your red buff, your Leandries. You can get to a point where like reducing your cooldown allows you to infinitely loop. Yeah, I would put it at A. Infernal Soul A. This thing it goes beyond like the securing in B tier because of the what's it called, the fact that it's so much damage so early and so often. Yeah, Infernal Soul just, and it scales too, right? Fucking great. Critical, holy shit. So this thing can be a fucking massive dud on a lot of characters, but it is very powerful for those who want it, and it connects to all the crit things, right? I would definitely put it over here compared to Critical Healing. Because Critical Healing has multiple uses, just not only the crit, but also like connects with healing. Critical is basically assuming that you have some synergy or you're an ADC, right? It just assumes. Like, that's why it's like a step lower. It's not as accessible, right? At least you can like fucking, I don't know, Healmancer, like Omnivamp, like I said, plants even. Killing time, nah. Unfortunately, it's too difficult to play for this in a lot of cases. Jewel Gauntlet, very confidently A. Or might even just be an S tier. I mean, I think like fucking everyone can use this, and the fact that it's crit alone. Oh, tough call, but I'll throw it at S. Can everyone use it? No, it would be an A. I mean, it's like the similar thing as dual wield. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Whatever. Juice box, low-key underrated. I would put it at B. You don't see the power, but it actually does give you a lot of power. Saves you 500 every round in the late game, which is nice. Because you just buy the 2 and it gives you the 3rd. Juice press, actually slightly underrated as well. I would put it in the same category as juice box, but it can connect to hats, and it does make it so that like when you do buy the thing, you get the, I think it's 20% movement speed on haste, 15% armor pen M pen on power, and like 20% HP or something on vitality, which is huge, which is actually very huge. Keystone Conjure, C. Laser Eyes, haha. So I think with micro it's very good, but it's kind of like Clothesline, where if you're playing for it all the time, sometimes you're compromising your position. So I'm gonna leave it in B tier here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. These micro things are so fun. Leg day, very nice. I'd even put leg day at fucking A, dude, just because it's movement speed straight up. But there's so many things it has to compete with in A. So again, if you're, I don't know if you're keeping track of this, but it's between A and B, right? This is really good. It's the better stat. Light them up. High key is like okay for those that want it, but because everyone can roll light them up, it's not actually that good, right? Light Warden, I would say it's one of the better autocast because you can't miss. It's impossible to miss Light Warden compared to like And My Axe or like Frost Wraith or Extendo-Arm. You can't miss Light Warden. It doesn't miss. You at least get yourself. Lightning Strikes, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone can roll lightning strikes, but it's fake in the sense that even if you were to hit 4 attack speed and unlock the lightning strikes thing, it doesn't actually do that much magic damage, and it's only 20% total attack speed. You compare that to something like Deft. I mean, I know it's total versus bonus. Like straight up Deft is just better than lightning strikes. Like, no, actually, I'd have to do the math on that. I mean, I guess lightning strikes with the total is more over time if you were to go higher, but it's kind of like the difference between like a linear graph versus like a, I forgot the name. Not exponential, but whatever. Let's just leave it there. Don't think too hard. Mad Scientist to B, because of the random nature of it, it's unfortunate. If you can always get the 70 ability haste and low and movement speed, yeah, I mean that would just be a fucking better Giant Slayer. Like, hello, Jesus Christ, like. Wow. But sometimes they'll troll you, so it's B. It's kind of weird not putting it next to Giant Slayer and Goliath, but the fact that it's random, you get what I mean? It's like, it actually makes it kind of bad. Magic Missile so nerfed. I mean, there's some characters like Oriana, Cassiopeia, maybe even Karthus. You know, you want Magic Missile, but sorry, the stats are too low. Marks Mage very good. Holy shit. Because it turns your what would normally be an AP champion, like a magic damage champion, into a magic and physical champion, it's good. If Marks Mage just made it so that you did more magic damage, it would probably be a B. But being able to split your damage into multiple sources means that it's harder for people to itemize against you. You would argue that a tank would probably get armor and MR anyway, but oftentimes you'll notice that they're going to have a mismatch. They're going to have more armor or more MR, and they're not going to have both. In stat level runs, yeah, they're probably going to have both to begin with, but it's still good to have the ability to do the other source of damage because most people won't have both armor and MR. So, you know, that's that. And also, Perplexity alone makes Marks Mage really fucking good. Master Duality, yo, honestly, not that many characters can make use of Master Duality. Like, it would be an A if not for the fact that everyone can fucking roll it, and it's like super fucking bait, right? Like, you would have to have like accelerating next to it. And like ADC, like people that build a lot of attack speed tend to not have crazy high AP ratios. So like ADCs, unless you have EscAPADe, like you're not making use of Master Duality. I'm sorry. Mind to Matter, for those that can roll, I think that's everyone that can roll it. It's actually not that good because here's why. If you're playing towards Mind to Matter, you are by definition building items that are probably fucking troll. Unless it's like Archangels or Manamune, maybe Roa for like the level up and then selling it, and maybe Talisman of Ascension if you have it, and maybe if you're a mage and you got like Detonation Orb. Like Crown of Shattered Queen's garbage, right? Everfrost is good, so it's only Detonation Orb and Everfrost and Talisman, right? I don't like those odds. If you're building like Ludens or Malignance, kind of It's honestly not that good. I would definitely put it at like a high C, but it would not be like a B. It's a good stat. It's health. Um, it can function kind of like a big brain, but the point is like big brain you can play towards no matter what if you're building AP. Mind to matter you can only play towards if you're playing mana AP, right? So it's like, ugh, you know, I don't like it. Minimancer is like actually like an A. I'm only counting the people who can use it. Unfortunately, it's like closer to a B because, and I hate to say this, when it got nerfed from 60 to 40%, 60 to 50 to 40, you are, it's fun. It's just not actually as crazy as you think. It's good on like Yorick. I can only think of like Yorick and maybe the Fury. The problem is Hollow Radiance alone shits on all pets, so it's not really a Minimancer issue. It's a pet issue. You don't want it on like Tibbers. Tibbers is way too nerfed. You want it on Daisy because Daisy has CC. You don't care about it on Elise except for your W. Your W actually counts as a pet. You want it on Azir, kind of, yeah, because your damage scales off of AP, and so 40% off of your AP and not the pets thing, not a percentage of a percentage. You know what I mean? I'll explain that really quickly. So like your spiderlings on Elise do a percentage of your damage, like it's got a ratio, and so you're increasing a small percentage, you know, by 40%. It's not actually that much. It's more useful for the health, really. But because Azir's soldier damage is like a huge ratio for Azir, taking a percentage of a bigger number is better. Okay, that's the thing. So it's like honestly not that crazy on everyone. So yeah, it's probably like a B. But I'm gonna put it A because it's fun. I'm gonna make an exception for Minimancer. I think people would bitch at me if I put it at B, even if I gave reasoning. But you don't have to agree with my reasoning. I don't even think it's like that strong. It's my hunch after playing like pretty much everyone. Mirror Image, actually like a good B, a solid B. It's like the opposite of Minion. It's like it's in B, but it might belong in A, and like Minion's A, it might belong in B because Mirror Image is a really good defensive. And if you micro it properly, it can be crazy, by the way. It can be crazy, because you have to alt-click right away. When you get anywhere close to 30% HP, alt-click immediately, you can blend in. Most people give it away because their clones are not moving, and they're the only one moving. But if you micro it together, it could actually be super good. On top of the fact that it connects to, like, Trickster Demon, or any effects like Reality Fracture, or Sunfire, or any, like, on-death things. But the biggest thing is on-hits. It applies on-hits, which is pretty cool. So I'll put it at B. It's like very fucking nice. I like taking this a lot. It can be very, very useful to fuck with people and like even like block hitboxes too, right? Because you're essentially summoning hitboxes. So if anyone wants to hit you, you just click them in front, right? Mountain Soul, yeah, good. It's not quite an Infernal Soul. Offensive options, ones that require you to get hit. Like receptive things are not as good as like agency, right? Like Infernal Soul gives you agency because you can actively go and hit them. Mountain Soul kind of requires you to hit. You could argue that it allows you to go up as if you're going to get hit. Also, did I just not show D tier this entire time? Holy shit! My bad. I guess it was stuck there. Wow. I'm so sorry if that was annoying you. Okay. So anyways, yeah, Mountain Soul there. Mystic Punch, high key a bait on a lot of characters. It's really good when you get reverb. It's gonna get nerfed too, so it's gonna be V. It's gonna get nerfed to 50%. Nesting Doll is actually A. This completely warps your gameplay where no matter what class you play, you can play aggressively, and people don't even know that there's a passive on it where you res faster. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure I used to say that, but you actually, so like if you die and your teammate stands on you, it's like GA and Super Vibe. Like you actually res a lot faster. And don't get baited by the fact that you lose HP. Yes, you lose HP, but you can just go through another rotation. Most likely case is like you actually get to fucking hit. And it puts pressure on the opponent. It's really good on someone like a mage, for example, where your damage is not really tied to your HP. You can do it from a distance, right? Like if you put it on a tank, yeah, okay, it's not as crazy, sure. But I'm pretty sure no matter who you play, as long as you have Nesting Doll, like the fact that it gives you the extra res time is super fucking nice. Okay. It's just people don't play around it. I think it's because people solo queue, right? Now you see me, for those that want it, even the people that don't dash often, it's actually very good. It's way better than a lot of things. Like even like better than dashing. Okay. And the reason why is because it's a flea replacer and it's an instant teleport, and it gives you the move speed afterwards. So even if you're like Tahm Kench, right? You're not using your dashes that often. Dashing is kind of worthless on Tahm Kench, but now you see me is not worthless on Tahm Kench. You W to somewhere, you have an instant option. If you need to fucking dodge something, you have like a flash light. You can't choose where you flash for the most part, right? You've already chosen where you flash to. But you can dodge. It's very useful for that exact reason. Utility is so good, and it gives you the 50% movement speed afterwards. You can use it in combat, even if you're like right next to it, just for movement speed, right? So good. It's like a better flea, okay? But you can use it actively too, like to juke people, or even offensively, right? You plant it and then you go somewhere, and you come back to it, hit them and shit, right? Numb to Pain, not that good. Honestly, not that good. Vulnerability alone makes it like fucking painful to do this. Like, not that that's gonna happen too often, but if anyone gets fallen, it counts as their damage against you. Null, don't worry about null. Just put this in D tier. It's like when you try to symbiotic something or parasitic something, and like you don't have an opponent or whatever. Okay, boomerang at B. It's less likely to miss. It's very fast, and it's good damage. I might even put in A, but it's pretty good. Oathsworn is fucking disgusting. So good. The 3 gold like replacers, Die Another Day, Oathsworn, and Beer Back, are so good. Any defensive like this, like I will always shill for defensives, man. They're way too fucking good. Like Oathsworn, instant iframe on your teammate. The problem is it's your teammate, that's why a lot of people might not like it. But it's also CC, and it's also 4 seconds of stalling. If you ever get to the end game and you have Oathsworn, you win. You automatically win in so many matchups, because right before the zone closes, Oathsworn, you deny 4 seconds of ticks, you're going to win like 99% of cases. Even in a case where someone has GA, you could have your own GA, you could have your own Zonias. Like 4 seconds, man. It's 4 seconds. If they don't touch any buttons, you just calm to your teammate. Don't touch anything, right? If I'm like about to die, and the zone's coming in, I tell Mario, don't touch anything. I Oathsworn him. Just AFK. You win. You just win. Okay. Ocean Soul at A, just like Infernal Soul. Agency. You hit them, you heal. They hit you, you heal. So it's a case where like even if you don't have agency and it's reliant on them hitting you, by virtue of them hitting you, you're getting value to begin with, right? Like, yes, the same thing with Mountain Soul, but the difference is Ocean Soul is just way higher numbers, okay? Like, because Mountain Soul, I think, requires you to not be in combat to regenerate. Ocean Soul likes being in combat. Omni Soul, very good, dude, very good. It's better than, like, the other 2 souls, obviously, right? Obviously. But I'm also keeping in mind, like, relative to tier, okay? So, like, you know, Infernal Soul relative to other silvers, pretty good. Omni Soul relative to other prismatics, not as crazy, but pretty good regardless, okay, overall. Orbital Laser, I'm putting this at S. Flea Replacer, and also, no matter who you are, even if you have no CC whatsoever, it's such a fucking OP force. People don't know how to use this thing is the problem. It's a 2.5 second channel, but you can essentially say, I'm going to make you not be here. If you're going to plant, I'm going to deny you 3 plants. Like, imagine if I gave you an augment that just said, like, you will always secure a plant over someone. You just always will. Okay, for the most part, as long as you have this up, then it's a 20-second cooldown. And more importantly, if you have any sort of CC whatsoever, or any sort of like play involving like positioning, Orbital Lasers is that good. I'm sorry, it's just way too fucking good. I just think people are shit at using it. Okay, these Flea Replacers are so good. Outlaw's Grit, actually very nice. Anyone that can get this, simply because gates exist, gates instantly stack Outlaw's Grit 4 times. It gives you 12 armor MR. Up to 60, right? Up to 60 max. It stacks 4 out of 5 just by taking gate. That doesn't mean that you go into the gate right away and like troll yourself. Even if you do, you're kind of you're coming out. It just means that anytime you get a chance to hit gate, go hit gate. If you're Tahm Kench and you can't stack it easily because you're Tahm Kench and you only have W, just go hit a gate. You're fine, right? It's 60 armor and MR, and that wins you a lot of rounds. Early rounds, like getting off of base MR, it's just, oh, dude, it's way too strong because it doesn't scale linearly, right? So like going from 40 armor to 100 armor is not the same as 100 armor to 100. Actually, I think the math is a little bit different. It's not technically diminishing returns, but the point is you're going to be able to get this in cases where you normally wouldn't itemize for them, especially because you want lucidity boots on like basically everyone, right? You're essentially being you can buy extra stats without buying extra stats when normally you wouldn't be able to access them. Okay, Overflow. Gigabait augment, holy shit, especially for the healers and stuff. Like, it's honestly a win more. Unless you Rise, holy shit, I think it's a C tier. Parasitic Mutation, very niche. Unfortunately, it's not up to you. It's up to the lobby. Not much agency in that augment. It's gone. It's at C. Parasitic Relationship, very bait. Like, unfortunately, even if you're playing ADC support, think about it. In order to get value, you would have to get hit. That's just like you'd have to get hit, and your team would have to hit for you. And it's like, hold on, let me scroll out a little bit. Sorry, I need to be checking like the actual visuals here. Can you see this? Should I? I'm gonna just increase this. Yeah. If you've made it this far, I hope you enjoy the fact that I spent the past hour and 20 and probably will spend another hour talking. And you enjoy this content, bro. I know it's not gonna get that many views, but it's whatever. Right? Enjoy. Let's see. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, parasitic relationship. It's just it's too conditional. And it gives you something that you can already kind of get. Okay, yo, this is actually too tiny. I'm just gonna scroll down to D when I put it in D, okay? Prismatic Egg, very good. I would put it at like a B. It's difficult to play for, but the fact that it gives you an extra reroll makes it nice if you're a YouTuber. That's not a factor for you guys, but I guess for me it kind of is. Let me actually just zoom out a little bit. Oops. There you go. You can read it, it's fine. I'm calling out their names anyway. And I'll probably post this tier list in its entirety. You just scroll down here. So I got Quantum Computing A. As like, it's way too big of a range and way too many stats that you can get for how easy it is to hit. Like, even if you're not hitting the outside ring, okay, no, you have to be hitting the outside ring actually to get a lot of value. It's very strong, especially because it's got such a high cap. No matter what champion you're playing, you can benefit from percent damage by just being around someone. It's very massive, like the range, and it's very quick too. My only issue with it, the only reason I'd ever take it down to B is because people are shit at the game and they might not be able to play this properly. Angel of Retribution, oh god, it's between B and C. Like, I'm thinking, because healing shield power is not actually that easy to itemize, unless you're going Sword of Blossoming, Puppeteer, and that kind of shit, Angel of Retribution is actually kind of fake. It's actually decent for another reason, which is that it gives you 100% attack speed. So I'd probably put it B alone just because it gives you 100% attack speed. Think about Deft, right? Like, it's a better Deft. It is a gold tier augment, but 100 versus 60%, like, you hit plants faster, and if you do connect to it, it's good. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely a B. Steal Your Heart, I'm sorry, this shit, it's too fake. Like, it's when you build Steal Your Heart or Heartsteel, like, yes, it's big dopamine. It's just health. It's you can tank the same way without having this shit. It's just fun to do, right? Okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not C, but no, it's definitely, dude. It's definitely fucking C. It doesn't change your gameplay. It's anyone that's going to beat you will probably beat you regardless. And in the edge cases where that health made a difference, it won't scale as well as you think. This is just health. Earth's Champion, holy fuck, so good. A, no matter who you are, you can always get an assist, even if you're not the one killing. 8 kills is fucking easy. Okay, very fucking easy. Take it on support, take it on anyone, very good. The cooldown refund on it is good. Quest, Wooglit's Witch Cap, so good. Such a high tempo item, holy shit. Rabble Rousing, high key a bait. Think about it. Any character that's going to be using a lot of abilities, spamming Rabble Rousing, you're probably either killing them or CCing them in a way where you don't need the healing. I can rarely find a usage for Rabble Rousing where I'm not either just straight up killing them as a result of me spamming abilities, or I'm spamming abilities from a safe distance so I don't need to heal. It has to be like Cassiopeia with Rabble Rousing, okay? It's not that good. Raid Boss is a bait. I'm sorry, this shit is bait. Don't click this. Just because you CC yourself for 9 seconds, your teammates, like, you can troll your teammates so easily. Recursion, very good, very good. I'd even put it this like a very high B, close to A. For a gold, 60 ability haste across the board, yeah, pretty fucking nasty. Like, actually very nasty. I need more tiers, man. I can't stratify them into S, A, B. I need like S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, dude. Repulsor, good defensive. It's difficult because of the agency. It's hard to like engineer it really properly. Pretty much only good against melees. It's a good C. Restart, if you can play for it, very good. Even if you can't play for it, still very good. I think the average player can't play it that well. It would be an A for me because like CC into CC, right? Like any ability that you hit that like stun someone and stunning them again, you know, very good. Restless Restoration, it a lot of agency there. You can just kind of walk. You're good. Scope. Oh, okay. I'm gonna put the scopes like kind of together. It would make sense to go like CBA with with the scopes. Like I'm gonna just kind of put them in the B tier together with bread and butter. Obviously, Scopious Weapons is better than what's it called? The other three or the other two. But the reason why I'm putting them in the same tier is because they all generally give you power. But I don't really care to like put A, B. Actually, you know what? Someone's gonna click this and they're gonna think, "What the fuck?" So I'm gonna just do that anyway. I'm just gonna make it look good, right? Scopious Weapons like A, B, C. Okay. Just don't fuck with me, okay? Just don't argue with me. Searing Dawn, garbage. Unless you're playing dot champions, garbage. Self-destruct, unfortunately, garbage. Right? Serve Beyond Death, very, very good. A tier, makes a huge difference. Stalling even like a little bit and playing towards it too, knowing that you're gonna proc it, very nice. It prevents one taps from denying you completely denying you value. As in, like, if you're a champion, even if you can't kill someone during the Searing Serve Beyond Death, you can at least get like an ability or something, and it can make a difference in a fight. Generally speaking, defensives like this are very good. Shadowrunner, this one, even a tiny dash actually makes a big difference because it's 300 flat. 300 flat movement speed is disgustingly good. Compare that to like 20% movement speed. Flat is generally better than the percentage, unless you already have a lot of flat, and then percentage becomes crazy. Okay, there's diminishing returns on movement speed in general, but the flat value typically will just be way fucking better. Okay, don't argue with me on the math. I'm very confident on it, unless like unless you really want to argue with me on it. Okay, it would have to be a completely separate video where I go into like the actual diminishing returns and shit. Okay, just sorry, I have to use source trust me, bro, for brevity. Shrink Ray, very good, easily accessible, 50% minus damage. It's like Feel the Burn. You just auto them. Okay, whoever you are, you can generally just auto them. The one drawback is it lowers the hitbox. Skill Sniper, honestly, B for bait tier. It's more like a C, bro. It's unfortunately because it's like bugged right now, where you get a lockout after doing 2 or 3 rotations. Like it tends to feel like a win more. Slap Round, honestly, for most champions, fucking terrible. Actually, fucking terrible. Okay, Slime Time, pretty decent. Generally fucking terrible. Slow Cooker, I'll put an A or B. Oh, tough. You can get Slow Cooker on everyone. It's a B. It's only useful on like maybe like 2 classes. Slow and Steady, fucking terrible. Outside of like 5 champions. Snowball Fight, actually pretty good. Even for like Mage and ADC, but still fucking terrible. Right? Just because so many classes don't want to use it. Okay, Sonic Boom, fucking terrible, even in cases where you can use it. Soul Siphon, crit alone, and B. Problem is, it's a lifesteal thing, right? Ooh, that's a tough one. Lifesteal you do not use on like most classes except like 2, okay? Like the fighters and the ADCs. And even ADCs, you're not really lifestealing shit, right? Drain tanking is hard too. So it's kind of trash. Like, but because it's critical alone, it's nice. It can stand next to the crit. Spell Wake, ooh. Oh, don't even get me started, bro. Just walk out of it. Spin to Win, super bait on like every fucking character that wants it. Maybe like Draven for the extra tempo early, the extra damage, because it applies on E and R2 because they're all spinning, and the Q. And like Draven has a passive. Oh my god, it's like fucking terrible. Hecarim, okay. Katarina, okay. Yeah, you don't care about the cooldown, you care about the damage. There's so many like other damage options if you're to like if I got Spin to Win next to like I don't know, Adapt or EscAPADe or Wishful Thinking, I'm pretty sure the math checks out on the other things early. If you get Spin to Win at like 4th augment, yeah, okay, take it, right? Take it. Sure. But tempo matters a lot to me, right? Spirit Link, actually pretty decent. It's just like a slave labor. Stachysaurus, yeah, no. This thing, it's not S tier simply because, okay, Thresh, Shyvana, Scion, Swain are okay. Like, let's tier list those guys, right? Thresh Shyvana at the bottom. You don't care about the stacks. Belveth, yeah, attack speed's good. No. Belveth, Scion, Swain, you kind of want stacks on. Draven, you want stacks on. They're like middle tier. Really good stacks are like Vhagar, Smolder, Aurelion Soul, right? Like, it's not actually that crazy. It's crazy on a select few, but there's so few of them to begin with that it's at least an A. Yeah, it's at least an A, but you don't always click it, right? You seriously don't always click it. Like Kindred's good, Cho'Gath's good, right? So Aurelion, Smolder, Cho'Gath, Kindred, for sure. Yeah, you know, Vhagar, you always click, but that's not enough for me to say it's an S tier. Okay. Stats on stats, just stats on stats alone, even without doing stat anvil runs. Holy fuck! Like, yeah, it doesn't like scale that crazy, but because it can push you ahead. Ah, no, it's not an S tier at all. No, it's very good. It's just not an S tier, right? I'm also thinking like between Augment 1, 2, 3, 4. Like Augment 1, it's the fucking best thing. Like it's one of the best things you can do because it's power now. It's power now, and there could be Fortune Shard. Super, super high roll potential, right? Otherwise, yeah, you know, the value is going to be like pretty flat across the board, but when it is good, fucking huge, right? Jewel Gauntlet's kind of like this, where like you don't really get value, and then it scales and scales and scales, and it can cap out super high, right? Gambit Anvil is just like power, 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 like holy shit. Dual Wields power, power, power. So stats is kind of like and then boom, you know what I mean? Not like it's like a good, and then boom, right? In case, especially because it's like the highest capstone other than Gambit Anvil for stat runs, kind of like that. I hope you can follow along with that. Stats on stats and just stats in general for their tier. I'm actually just gonna put them all in A, right? Like for their tier, fucking nice, right? Stat animals are just so good. Especially because you can get a stat that you normally wouldn't build. All right, I'm not even thinking like gold and prismatic augments. I'm thinking like haste or like maybe some pen already. Summoner Revolution, very fucking good. Automatically A, simply because it gives you 2 flashes and it resets flash every round. It's like flashy, Summoner Revolution, and then flashbang. Like fucking nice, right? And Summoner Revolution connects with a lot of the you know, orbital strike or something. Not that you would use it successfully, right? But success, like literally success, as in like one after the other, right? One to the next. But I don't know, Clown College good. 2 Frozen Foundations not even that bad. You might as well use it together right away so that you can put on cooldown. Because if you put one on cooldown and then don't use the other one, you're essentially wasting that extra cooldown, right? It's kind of like having 2 smites. Summoner's Roulette. So this is actually tough, right? Like I would say it's an A, confidently A, but I could be wrong just because people are really low APM. You get a summon spell like every like 6 seconds, right? You even if it's a shitty one, just like I don't know, flee or like a heal. Dude, it is just free shit. Like if you're hitting that button, mashing it for the most part, you get value. Like it's so fucking good. You can secure a lot of early rounds for that. Symbiotic Mutation, holy shit. A or might even be S. Like I will definitely say S. There are so many cases where if you're coordinating with your teammate, this thing can go fucking nuclear, bro. Yeah, there are a lot of cases where it's not that good, but as long as your teammate's not like a dumbass with their selections on augments, it's not like you're losing an augment. You're still getting an augment, but you can go even higher, right? I'm putting that confidently S, bro. That thing has way too many connections. Way too strong, right? Just duplicate a good augment, right? Symphony of War, it's stats, it's B. Tank it or leave it. Oh, very good, very good. It's a critical, and it's something that you can use pretty much no matter what. No matter who you are, you can always just like roll the random crit and take less damage. It's not an agency thing, as in like you can't actively play for it, but it's omnipresent. It's kind of like Ocean Soul. You get hit, boom, right? And like it never turns off, so you're good. Tap Dancer, it's definitely an A. Even for like mages, even for characters that don't really use it, getting a little bit of movement speed from hitting plants, from auto attacking your opponents every now and then, because if you already have low movement speed, like let's say 400, and you haven't hit the diminishing returns cap yet, so you're getting the full 10 and the 10 and then 7, blah blah blah. You can get up to like 500 movement speed, even if you're not like an attack speed character or someone who auto attacks that often. Very good. And then combo that with the fact that it's even fucking crazier when you are playing for it, right? So yeah, it's definitely an A. Brutalizer, just stats. It's like better stats. No, it's a gold tier, so I'm gonna put in C. Right, you can get so many better things. Thread the Needle, actually a good B. Pen is better than actual like AD because you can't get pen as often. Right, and it's a good number too for it too, 20 and 20. Tormentor, unfortunately, this kind of shit. It is a way to keep the burns going. The same Trailblazer and Tormentor are kind of in the same boat where it's like they're only really carried by the fact that you can combo it off other people, right? Like it's such a weird win con. Like even like Callisto or someone that dashes that often. Typically, if you're dashing that often, like are you dashing without doing any damage? You're probably gonna do more damage from just hitting the dash button that often. Right, so follow the logic, okay? If I'm gonna stack Trailblazer often, it's probably because I'm using a dash. No, it is because I'm using a dash button often, and that dash button, if it doesn't do any damage, then I don't know who you're playing. You're playing like Talon, or like you're playing Bard and going through the portal, and it's like, what the fuck? But you're probably killing them with that dash, or killing them in the process of doing that, and that's just gonna do more damage than Trailblazer entirely. Like unless you're Callista and you play full tank, okay? Like. It's just unfortunately very tough to do. Tormentor, like it's better than Trailblazer, of course, because the characters that can use them and can cycle them often, I don't know, like a Leona, yeah, you know, it's pretty good. Transmute Chaos, I'm putting all the Transmute at A, okay? Yes, technically speaking, they're not actually that fucking crazy. You actually do troll yourself, but I'm going to make the exception. I'm going to do another one of these exceptions and say it's just good, okay? Just click it. Trickster Demon on like almost everyone that you wanted, A. Seriously, no, seriously, like almost everyone that you wanted, a good A. One second. I don't want to have to edit this, so I'm just gonna keep this in the thing. Anyways, twice thrice. You can roll it as everyone, but not everyone wants on hits, and not all the on hits are like that crazy. It certainly is like a win more sort of thing. I'm gonna put that at B. It's fun when you get it though. Typhoon, definitely at C. Unfortunately, it's got that condition of having to have the opponent nearby or two opponents nearby, and it's not quite as crazy as like Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, you just hit one and then boom, immediately. Typhoon requires them to be like pretty close, I would say, from my experience. And on hits are not that accessible, and everyone can roll Typhoon, I'm pretty sure. Ultimate Revolution, fucking bait, dude. This shit's ass. Like, unless you're like Malphite or something, like, bro. And if you're playing Malphite to one-shot, I would argue that if you need two of them, you're probably fucked regardless. Yeah, no, I can see so much counterplay into Ultimate. It's ass. Ultimate Roulette, so fucking good. For the exact reason why Summoner's Roulette is really good. They're both Flee replacers, and they both give you extra spells to just use. So good. Round one, if you have Ultimate Roulette or Summoner's Roulette, you just have more spells than the opponent, you're going to win that round if you're not an idiot. Ultimate Unstoppable, conditional, but very good when you need it. A lot of channel ultimates, a lot of cases where having the 3 seconds versus 2 seconds of invulnerability for a silver anti-CC, very good. Vanish, fucking very powerful. I'm going to put it in A. It's a tentative A. Vengeance, oh, dude, it's too rough. Like it's too conditional. C. You're basically down in Augment for the most part. Vulnerability, absolute best gold in the game. I'm sorry. This it's better than Apex. Everyone can use vulnerability, no matter what. Not everyone can use Apex. It's like the difference between a 99% and a 95%. Functionally, they both look like holy shit. Like everyone can use them. But there are a lot of cases where vulnerability actually beats the other one. And it's a crit, okay? Simply because you could just tech like Leandri's anywhere to begin with, and any connection point at all, you're winning. So actually, let me go into that a little bit. Like, let's say you're a support. You can have like Red of Ruin. You can connect to like that item alone, and you can build anything. Just a single Leandri's, maybe even a Redemption, and you crit it. You can go Atmos to get tankier and get like a huge ratio. You can, stat envelopes will connect to you at any point. You get like even a little bit of crit. That's for like later in the game, around 13, 14 when you finish a build or something. Anything at all, because it's got such a deep web, right? You're just gonna get value from vulnerabilities. That's support alone. ADCs, obviously, fucking ADCs love this shit, dude. So good. You can build one less crit item, and you can. It's actually not that crazy, but I'm not saying you have to build Kraken Slayer or Blade or anything, but crit alone on ADCs pushes you to a point where you can save that item slot and you can build maybe a defensive instead. and you can retain your 100% crit. And Hamstringer alone, it's so fucking crazy. Again, the web. I'm not saying one thing is good because you can get something. I'm saying there's so many things that you can get. Mages, Liandry's alone, crazy. Tanks are fucking amazing with this. With Sunfire just by itself, which you can guarantee. Every game you can guarantee. Black Hole Gauntlet, Pyromancer Cloak, right? So the thing is, Apex actually connects to those things as well because they're items. But the problem is not every class will be able to... Like, again, it's 99% to 95%. That's why I would say vulnerability is actually... I wrote a comment on this on Reddit too. It's actually, in my opinion, strictly better than Apex Inventor. Anyone that can use Apex Inventor, you can probably use vulnerability. But anyone that can use vulnerability isn't guaranteed to be able to use an Apex Inventor in that scenario. Okay, that's something that like has been my experience over the course of fucking 2 years of Arena. I will just simply click it. But yeah, there's nuance to it, right? Like if I am playing a character that wants the Apex connection, yeah, it's gonna be better than vulnerability. I'm just saying across 172 characters, I'm sorry, bro. Like dots, like on so many characters and crit on so many characters, like yeah. Warm-up routine, fucking like it's like a B. Because you can one ticket, it actually makes it decent, and it's a flea replacer. I'll say it's pretty okay. We'll be right back. Holy mother of S tier, dude. Dude, I'm sorry. This it's so fucking good, actually. Denial. You can block casts. You can block abilities. Iframe. Heal. Stalling. It's a setup move because you can stun your opponent. You can treat it like a stun so that your teammate can get ready to hit. Yeah, very good. Willing Sacrifice. Just stats. Actually, pretty good stats when you want it. It's still a C because you can roll on everyone as well. It's like such a waste of a slot. Wisdom of Ages, tempo, definitely an A tier. Getting your ultimate 1 turn earlier, round 2, you are guaranteed to win if you're not an idiot or that's so rude to say. Sorry. If you are playing any champion that has a decent ultimate, yeah, you're gonna win with Wisdom of Ages. And a lot of champions can scale off level, like their passives. There are actually a ton of them. But that's not the real point. The real point is getting your ultimate earlier and your base stats earlier, because base stats matter so fucking much. Like in Arena, you get like hundreds of HP, really. Wishful Thinking, good. Yeah, good. B. With haste, oh my goodness, holy shit. I'm gonna put this in S tier. This thing is too fucking good. Movement speed is way too fucking good, and haste you can get anywhere, really. Right, Lucidity boots alone with haste automatically, like you're just not going to be touchable. True Shot in A tier. Anyone that can access it, actually there are a couple bait characters, but anyone that can access it typically is going to be someone who will be using it that way. If you're like Pike, rough, I guess, but whatever. It's automatic power. It's automatic cast. A lot of agency there. Yeah, you could even, I don't know, you could even like hit a dot on them and then run away. Or like, hey, the red buff, remember? You can hit the red buff and move away. I did that on Ezreal. Okay, that's my tier list. Holy shit, I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm not actually sorry because, again, my promise to you when I make content like this is that I'm going to actually be respectful to the topic. I think that when people make tier lists, they don't actually explain themselves well, and I think I did a pretty decent job here, or at least I like to think that. You heard all my reasoning, right? You can see my list here. I'll just copy paste this. Yeah, I needed like 8 tiers so I can, change some of the power. And I wish I could like add notes. If I could add notes and shit and explain some of the nuance so that you can go back to it, yeah. I'm not going to timestamp this. Do not ask me for time. I might even timestamp me saying I'm not timestamping this. Just whatever. Whatever, bro. I already spent an hour and 40 doing this. I'm gonna say you're welcome because I don't normally want to do this kind of shit, but I think it's really good content for those that want to hear it. For those that, like the average person, you don't give a shit. You really don't, right? I know you don't give a shit, but if you're hearing me say this, you're probably not the average person. Thanks for watching. That's my tier list. I'll see you for the next video. I'm gonna throw this out there as like a free bonus, Peace.